It's...
Hey guys, welcome to our new episode of the Scoop Zone. I'm Gary, and this here is my co-host, Keith Moncrief. And Keith is going to lay down some information about Mikey Sutton, because Mikey Sutton is, of course, a close friend of ours. And we take pride in the fact that we introduced Mikey to everybody. And seeing him grow the way he has, he's grown way past us. He's become one of the top scoopers. He's been voted the number one scooper going right now. And so it's no surprise, because the man's batting 1,000 with his scoops. And it's because he's got 37 years in the industry, both the studio system as well as in publishing. He used to write for Cinefantastique, one of my favorite sci-fi magazines, and as I recall, yours as well. And this guy knows what he's doing. And he gets into these discussions with these people, these true insiders at the studios, and gets confirmations on things from multiple people, to where when he finally does release that scoop, when he releases a scoop, it's because he's pretty much confirmed that it's the truth. And so at batting 1,000, that means that you've never struck out. You've always got a hit. That's 1,000.
Yeah.
We know that he's gotten that because none of his scoops have ever been proven wrong. But one by one, many are being confirmed. That's batting 1,000. So what we see in doing this show is that we want to both show where he's gotten it right at the beginning of every episode, and then through the rest of the episode, we're going to do basically this thing where we show scoops that week, and we have scoops this week that are going to be really, really cool. And but basically, Keith is going to break down what scoop was confirmed from Mikey. So I'm going to step out of the way and let you take over, buddy.
Thanks, Gary. Everyone, hopefully by now, has seen the big hit film Spider-Man No Way Home. And many might remember that it was looking like there was going to be some question as to whether or not Tom Holland would actually say goodbye to the role, now that he's probably been in the biggest Spider-Man movie of all time. Well, it turns out that Mikey actually had the inside scoop as to what was actually going to happen. Now, this part of the story, confirming that, of course, Tom Holland is coming back, was reported most recently, okay? But according to an article dated November 30th of last year, turns out Mikey Sutton had everyone beat and knew the inside track on whether or not we were going to have even more Tom Holland Spider-Man, which he was able to confirm. Written by Mikey, it was states that Amy Pascal was able to definitely talk about the fact that there were more Spider-Man films with Tom Holland coming. In fact, Mikey was able to alert everyone. February 28th of 2021 that they were in heavy negotiations. So that right there should really prove to a lot of people that Mikey has earned his reputation as one of the master, if not the master scooper out there amongst everyone that does this. He is certainly one of the best. Back to you, Gary.
Thanks, Keith. So once again, Mikey's batting 1,000. Now on with the rest of the show. We're going to go ahead and get this show started. The very first episode of the Scoop Zone, featuring, of course, my co-host and partner in crime, Keith Moncrief. And along for the ride as our guest co-hosts are Sil Abdul, Arwen Avalon, the ever so lovely with hair. Her hair reminds me of Doctor Who's scarf, the Fourth Doctor, just endless.
Or Rapunzel.
I don't know where it goes. And 24/7 Fusion Media is a good friend of ours, and we're so excited to be doing a new show with all you guys. This is awesome. Thanks for joining us, and let's get on with this. First thing, because we were talking about Spider-Man, or Keith was, we're going to get into a little bit of a little bit about Kraven. I think would be a good idea. There we go. So, Geekosity magazine, Mikey Sutton, scooped Spider-Man villain Kraven the Hunter, once intended for the MCU. So, let's have a conversation about this. Do I need to read the article, or are we all good on this?
I think it's pretty clear. Like, Sony and Marvel in conjunction kind of changed the original plan, right? So, originally, before it became this multiverse movie, it was supposed to have Kraven and Chameleon, right? So they finally confirmed the original plans. That's the gist of the article.
Who wrote this? Was this Mikey? Oh, it's Kieran Bug.
It was Kieran Bug.
Of course, Kieran is a very close friend of Keith's and mine. Very good writer. I'm very happy with his work. So what do we think about this? Is there a chance of bringing him in still?
Because I think there's always a chance of bringing him in.
Yeah. Well, the problem was his brother,
Definitely.
right? Wasn't his brother the reason why they didn't bring him in?
It was Tobey Maguire and Garfield. That's why they held off on Kraven
for the whole Sinister Six thing,
right.
They infer it in the movie. You can actually visually see it, that they infer that there's a Sinister Six. I'm really looking forward to it because despite the fact that was it Avi Arad? Who was it that was pushing for that all the time, Keith?
Let's see. Not Venom was me. Yeah, that was actually the plan that Sony had come up with through Avi Arad and also through
Pascal.
What's her face? Yeah, Amy Pascal.
Yeah.
They were part of the group that came up with
they were
of
pushing
that.
for Sinister Six for a while.
That's
Spidey
right.
Summit. Yeah, you remember that? Spidey Summit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Which again, a lot of it had to do with the fact that, at least for me, my initial reaction to it wasn't good because Sony's record up to that point hadn't been very good. Right. And really you had a bunch of people operating behind the scenes that were just operating like they didn't know what they were doing. So now it's just they seem to be hitting it out of the park, and the MCU seems to be having a slight
I think
problem.
Feige's involvement has a lot to do with that.
Yep.
Not that, look, because everybody knows my criticism of Kevin Feige. He absolutely shit the bed with Phase 4. That is just a disaster. But and that's why when you haven't even launched Phase 4 and you're already promoting Phase 5, Phase 4 is fucked. Because I said that way before Phase 4 started, that they were look what's coming in Phase 5, because they knew they shit the bed. And
to be honest, after watching again the Eternals, that film could have easily have been about the Inhumans or any other super powered multi-ethnic group. Yeah. It was almost like they just picked a name and
like
stuck
us.
it in there.
Eternals.
I'm sorry. Keep going, Keith.
I was just going to say that. I was just going to say that. For a film that probably cost as much as it did, if they're going to start handing out, films that are, $150 million budgets to directors who have never worked for studios before, I'd just like to say in advance, I'm up for the next one. Okay, I'll do whatever.
I feel like they really need a better story. It's like if you're going to make an epic film at an epic budget, you better have an epic fucking story.
Well, and then to take one of the spoiler alert, to take one of the main characters and turn them villain.
That was so stupid.
I mean,
Well, story hasn't exactly been their strong suit lately.
And the turn, that turn, as they call it in the story, was about as effective as Harrison Ford as the serial killer, psycho killer in that movie he did. Where I remember when you find out he's the killer, and I went, "Oh my god!"
It just didn't land. It's so terrible.
Wrong response, but that's the one.
What Lies Beneath is that movie? What Lies Beneath, and it was so good until the turn, and then I went, "What?"
The heel turn.
That's how
the heel turn.
It was okay to the turn. That's the Eternals.
Everything was good until the turn.
I just think that to take a property, again, this is just me saying this. I just feel that I don't think they would have messed around with it had this been a Stan Lee idea, but because it was, Jack Kirby, I think there's this idea. It's like
there needs to be more reverence when dealing with Jack Kirby, and I felt
really
that
all of
treated him with reverence at all.
Yeah,
I felt like they kind of shit on what he created. But moving on, we have another little film to discuss here, which is again back to Spider-Man. And Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man could fight Venom in the upcoming film, the third Venom film. So basically, because I like the idea that he's in Andrew Garfield's universe. This way we can go back and revisit all the different Spider-Man movies, from Tobey to this, because it's just a great way of involving them and eventually get a live action Spider-Verse movie. And I'm really hoping that that's one thing that Mikey has been talking about. That there's this potential for it. Yeah, I think
aiming
they are
for
too.
that, right?
Yeah, I mean, and Andrew Garfield. I don't know how you guys feel, but I felt that he really got Peter Parker, Spider-Man's personality down better than anybody.
Yeah, actually, I thought I was the only one that ever thought that. Hey, he was actually a pretty damn good.
No, I loved
Spider-Man.
him. He was so smart, Alex.
Andrew Garfield, yeah.
Oh, he had the sarcasm and the quippiness.
I mean, Tobey had quips in it, but he didn't deliver them quite like Garfield did. Garfield delivered better than anybody. And don't get me wrong, even the new kid, he does some good quips too. But Garfield had the sarcasm down.
Well, Holland came into his own this film, No Way Home. I'm on board with Holland now. I wasn't before. But the Garfield captured, like you said, just that sarcasm in the middle of the
I had issues with the way they wrote him with Garfield. I felt like he deserved better writing than what he got.
He did. Especially for
I don't care for him. He's my least favorite Spider-Man because I feel he takes that snark. There's snarky. There's that fine line between snarky.
But that's how he was in the comic.
I don't know if I can say that or not. I don't know what I can say.
There's
butthole snarky. There's there's snarky, and then there's asshole snarky. That makes you want to smack them and go, I wish a villain would just kill you because you're getting on my nerves.
Kind of an ass to be a snark,
I mean, it's just it was too much. I'm sorry, it was just too much. But I love that y'all love him. It makes my heart go. It makes my heart sing. That he's got some fans.
Well, that breaks my heart.
Just like. You do your thing, Garfield. I'm all right. You do it over there.
Thy beak from out my heart. Forsooth, dear cause, dost thou have to kill me so?
I hear what y'all are saying, and I appreciate it, but I'm just like,
hey, Arlen, thanks for shitting on all of our love of Spider-Man.
She heard everybody reverence. She says no.
It takes all kinds.
Exactly. But I am looking forward to getting fulfillment, because everybody knows that Andrew Garfield kind of got boned because he didn't show up to a meeting with a Sony executive.
Yeah, I remember that.
He got fucking fired at a summit. Yeah. God only knows what was wrong. He might have been sick or banging somebody. I don't know. Doesn't show up,
wish him ill.
His job.
Give him a pass, right? One quick thing with Garfield in No Way Home, he asked the other Spider-Man. Some of the best scenes was between all the three Spider-Men, right? And the best dialogue,
I agree.
Right? They pointed at each other.
Yeah, he asked them about all the villains.
And both
of them said they fought a villain, right? Both of them said they fought a villain. Garfield said, "I wish I could fight an alien villain," right? So that was like foreshadowing that he may get his alien eventually. So
yeah,
I think it really does help when you have three quality actors who all seemingly enjoy being Spider-Man and playing the part, and let alone being in this film together. It would be the height of just stupidity if Sony were not to take advantage of it and want to just go forward with it.
Right.
People want more of this.
I agree with that. I agree. They do need to take advantage of that. I agree.
I just think that at this point,
like Garfield,
I know, but
this is just another example of a really good idea from DC that just Marvel took advantage of.
Yeah.
It's
true.
That's my life, DC guy.
No, I think we're all. Because as much as I love Marvel, I'm more of a DC guy.
Me too.
Have been. I mean, since 1972, man. I bought my very first comic book was DC. I bought the Batman Swamp Thing crossover. It was also the first comic to break the comics code and use a swear word in it, where Batman says "damn." So, 1972. Bernie writes.
I remember 1972.
Bernie writes it. I had the original comic that I bought as a kid, and I had Bernie sign it, and then it got stolen by some druggie, and really upset me because it was signed to me. Who the fuck would want to buy it? It was to me. Anyway, so our next one that we're going to talk about from Mikey is Mysterio, originally planned for Spider-Man No Way Home. And this one, again, written by our good friend Kieran Bug. We love you, Kieran. Concept art for Spider-Man No Way Home revealed scrap plans for Doctor Strange to fight Mysterio, which I think would have been fucking cool in the movie. It was supposed to take place during the Manhattan Statue of Liberty scene where he reappears. That he breaks his way through, and that way you would have had the Sinister Six in the movie. But I don't know if they shot anything or what. But it's definitely not in the film. We do know, because I remember when he was originally mentioned that he was going to be coming back for the film. And I remember that myself. I was kind of stoked. I'm like, yeah, because he was one of my favorite villains growing up, him and the Vulture.
Well, that's the thing. I think they may be just wanting to hold on to that. Again, this was all about
save it for later.
Yeah, this is all about just getting as many eyeballs on this particular story as possible. This being the third film from their collaboration, still negotiating as to whether or not they would move forward. And hey, DC had a really good idea, but they're taking their slow as molasses time putting it out there. We can just swoop right in and get it all.
Aside from breaking box office records, he even pointed out here, this movie holds the record for the most villains in a live-action Spider-Man film.
Oh, yeah. Of course.
Ain't that crazy? And that was Sony's plan the whole time, right? To stuff all these villains in, and they literally got it right. Finally, in No Way Home.
It was a balance.
Help guide them.
It was a balance.
I mean, let me ask you this: were they planning to do that after the Garfield run, the Sinister Six?
Yes. Actually, it was set up in his last Spider-Man movie.
Right. That's what he was going to fight.
Right.
Mhm.
Okay. That's all
And
right.
then they introduce Rhino at the end. It's just a terrible iteration
Right.
of the Rhino. And I'm a
Well,
big
I mean-
fan of that guy as an actor. I just like, oh, this is terrible. This
Paul
is-
Giamatti.
That's terrible.
Paul
I
They
mean,
made
shit.
fun of that in No Way Home too. He's like some
Yes, they did.
ball in a mechanical suit.
Some
Like,
crazy Russian in a rhino suit.
yeah. I was like, oh,
Yeah.
they know they messed up. Yeah. Okay.
Oh yeah.
So, moving on to our next one that we'll be discussing, which is Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man rumored for Doctor Strange sequel, which I think is fucking amazing. It would
I'm
be nice
excited
to
for this.
see
Yeah, I'm here for
You know,
that.
to him finish his run as Spider-Man. And I've heard rumors that he would die, and I'm okay with that because he's getting older, and so it's cool.
Sounded
He's a
familiar.
youth-
Why do they
he's a
always
youth
have to
pastor.
Oh
die,
no, that sounds
though?
horrible, man. That's
I don't want him to
This is
die.
sounding so much like what they had initially, some of the news that had come out about Michael Keaton.
Right.
So now we understand what the 1-to-1 for both are.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Warner's has Michael Keaton, so Tobey Maguire must be their
Yep.
Michael Keaton, and that's how they're going to do this. So
Mhm. That's nifty.
What's
Yeah.
perfect with this? Raimi's doing the Doctor Strange sequel, right? That's
Mhm.
Toby. Toby is his Spider-Man, Raimi. So it's so
Mhm.
perfect. If this is his last appearance as Spider-Man, Mikey's hinting at maybe a little spin off from there. But if this is his last appearance, it's perfect because Raimi is doing this film. So
And it kind of reminds
Yeah.
me of this,
Are you Toby?
but different
Oh,
Toby.
oh my god,
That, of
That's
course,
it.
is the infamous Walter Hamada.
yeah. I was about to say that's Walter right there. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's a different Toby, Walter. Sorry, wrong Toby.
Oh, shit.
Now Toby's my favorite Spider-Man, so no, I don't want him to die. But I know
I
they're
couldn't
gonna do-
tell.
They're not going to
Well,
ask
I'll
my opinion
understand.
anyway.
I will understand it because if you remember in the Spider-Verse, one of the Spider-Men dies, and so
Why it gotta be him? Why can't it be Garfield? Oops, I didn't say that. I'm sorry.
Oh.
I didn't know.
Oh,
You know
shit.
it.
hold on. I need to throw these. Okay.
I mean, Toby was pretty much done. He probably should have died in No Way Home, to be quite honest. Like,
I mean,
if
I
they're gonna
guess,
do it,
yeah, that would have been a good time, but
and
yeah,
he
I
is,
hear you.
because both Garfield and he were fucked by Sony,
Yeah.
because Avi Arad pushed to have Venom in that
Venom.
film, and this is a character Sam Raimi didn't want to do. He didn't know the
didn't.
character that well, and it really didn't fit in. It really felt well. You've heard of Deus Ex Machina. That's Venom in that version of Spider-Man.
You
in
can
the third
you can
Spider-Man.
completely cut Venom out of that entire film.
It's a better
and
film.
everything would make more sense.
the Sandman
That
was
entire
great.
film.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
We
I
needed
agree.
more time with Sandman, exactly, because
Yeah.
he was that sympathetic villain who you
Mhm.
knew wasn't really a bad guy.
Right.
So,
They were pulling
That's why it
too
was
much
nice to
focus
see him.
by too many of them. It was just like pick one and
It was
stick
nice
with
to
it.
see Sandman back in No Way Home. It's the same characterization
Right.
in No Way Home.
Mhm.
I was like, this is perfect. They perfectly brought the
Oh,
Raimi character there.
it
Yeah.
is, in my opinion, finally the best Spider-Man movie since Spider-Man 2.
Yeah.
And so therefore
I agree.
it surpassed it for me. Now my favorite superhero film is Spider-Man No Way Home, followed
No Way Home.
immediately by Spider-Man 2.
It's up there.
And
It's
then
up there.
followed by Batman and Superman
Dark
the motion
Knight.
picture. Superman the motion
You know
picture
what?
is still up there.
This film is in my top 5.
Yeah.
It's not at my number 1, but it's in my top 5.
It's like a T-Mobile
I agree.
advertising. He's my top 5.
It's my top.
It is. I mean, I can't.
Swiping
my
left.
number one.
Swiping
My
left.
number one is my number one is Superman the movie.
Oh,
Superman the
that's
movie is
a
my
good
third.
one.
It used to be
Yeah.
number
that's a good
one.
one. That's a good one.
It used to be number one, but Spider-Man 2 surpassed it, and now it's bumped to the third position with No Way Home and Spider-Man 2. Because
Spider-Man 2 is my
still
second
great.
favorite. So,
Even though it's
Spider-Man
not
2
a
was
perfect, it's not a
dang near
perfect,
perfect.
Spider-Man
Y'all
movie.
talking Tobey Maguire Spider-Man
Yeah.
2?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, I
Yeah.
just want to make sure because there's so many damn
Yeah.
Spider-Man.
well, Andrew
And
they're all in
Garfield's
their own
the
little,
amazing
you know.
Spider-Man.
And even though it's funny, I
Okay.
really didn't like the disparaging of Doc Ock by Tom Holland's Spider-Man. No, seriously, what's your name? Yeah. Dr. Otto Octavius. No, really, what is your name?
They started laughing at him, right?
I laughed, but I'm like, oh man,
It got a little Scooby-Doo-ish there with
Yeah,
some
it
of
got
the
really-
interaction between
Yeah.
them and the adults.
But then
Marvel.
again,
That's a
they
Marvel
do have a great
formula.
Scooby-Doo line in there of let's
Yeah.
Scooby-Doo the shit out of this.
Right.
Like-
So
That's
it was
straight
great.
from Scooby-Doo. Yeah.
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 So
Yeah.
next on our list is little Charlie Cox's Daredevil had a bigger role in Spider-Man No Way Home, which there was more that was supposed to happen, but I think what we got was just fine. I mean,
Just a little
We didn't-
taste.
yeah, I mean when he grabs that fucking brick,
Oh,
come on,
Oh God,
that
yeah.
was so awesome, right?
and Tom Holland
He's
saw
amazing.
that like there's some shit going on here that I don't
That was a
know
great
about.
moment.
That I'm not
That was a
privy
great
to.
moment.
I love
It
that.
felt a
Yeah.
little thrown.
I agree.
It felt a little thrown in there, right? It was like blink and he's on the screen, and then he's gone, right?
Yeah, but I don't think
sort
that
of-
was the original intent, especially in hiring him for the film. I think that the original script that they were going with had a lot of these characters in there, and or had them be able to do more. And just like what happened with Captain America: Civil War, they changed their minds because of the way they make their movies. And since Gary and I have been doing our shows, we've talked about the style and the way, and I think the way I had originally described it was more modular, meaning that you bring in a director, and mainly the director is relegated to just working with a lot of the talent, meaning that the other parts of the film are now being farmed out to different people, so that you have a very, it's kind of like how you would make a vehicle, and you have an assembly line way of making things. And that's what ticks off a lot of directors, because traditionally you make a movie, you're shooting the entire thing. Now when you make an MCU film, and this has been going on since Civil War, it's very modular. Kevin Feige and his people take care of all of the second unit stuff. They'll shoot all the other stuff. So as a director, all you got to do is shoot a couple scenes with the main actors and you're done.
Mm-hmm.
And doing that then affords you the opportunity to be able to take sections out of the film and replace it, which is how they were able to make Civil War. And since, again, as we had stated on our show, filming for Batman v Superman took so long. I mean, it took months because they started working on Batman v Superman, I think, in February of that year. And you didn't even have the actor playing Alfred start shooting his scenes because they had talked about that in the media. He didn't fly to shoot his scenes until almost July.
Wow.
Wow.
So they took a while to film that movie. I mean, months. And in that time,
Wow.
Kevin Feige got his team together and said, "Oh, whoa, 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 whoa! It looks like they're bringing everybody into this film. We got to change this." And so they changed, and they made the fact that nobody noticed, the fact that it looks like it was intended, that they always had that idea to do this, and had not the two screenwriters given an interview about how Kevin Feige had changed things for Civil War, I don't think anybody would have noticed. And we are now seeing that now, and they're not really hiding it too much anymore.
Oh, yeah.
This is how the sausage is made. And on the one hand, it allows them to be quick. They're able to be quick.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, you're starting to basically pick from a smaller pool of directors that want to work with Kevin Feige and Marvel because they have no freedom.
Right.
Meanwhile, Warner's and DC, I should say, they still allow for a lot of freedom, but then you get these directors giving you things like Birds of Prey.
The Suicide Squad.
Well, now Suicide Squad's going to have to wait. I'm going to hold off judgment until we actually see the air cut. Because even if half the things I've heard about the third act of this movie are exactly what I've been hearing,
Well, it was
and how it
originally
ties
tied in directly to.
Well, I was talking about James Gunn.
Justice League. Yeah.
I was talking about James Gunn Suicide Squad.
Oh,
My hope is that they actually allowed air because we've heard that the air cut exists. It's already there.
It's coming.
But I believe that AT&T helped fund them so they could reshoot some scenes that connects it directly to Justice League again.
I think they finished some VFX also.
That's what it is. It's all about the VFX.
Yeah.
You guys have seen the picture of Will Smith's Deadshot kissing Harley Quinn.
Yeah, I've
That's
seen
New
that.
52. That's New 52.
Yeah,
right
so that was actually filmed, and so it gives a new spin to the scene where Amanda Waller hires Deadshot to shoot Harley Quinn.
Right, because then
Okay,
he's
yeah.
like, okay, I see why he held off, because they had a moment.
And then the other thing being that Joker actually died in the helicopter crash and was brought back.
Yeah, because we all know it's
Would-
loosely based on Assault on Arkham, and
Mhm.
in that
It's
one,
a
Deadshot
great
and she
animated
fucked.
film.
They had.
Mhm.
They
It went
intercourse.
down.
They did.
Intimate
They had intercourse.
relations.
That's what I said. New
They
52,
were in
that's what they
sexual
were.
congress with one another.
Yeah. Well.
Oh wow!
Um,
Although, can I just say both Suicide Squads were better than the fantabulous fuck off who gives a shit of Harley
yeah,
Quinn?
that was dumb.
I agree.
I'm
The only thing good
saying.
about that
The
that
first
movie,
Yeah,
one-
I agree with that. Yeah.
burrito.
The
The breakfast
I agree
burrito
with
scene is
that.
the only thing good in that movie.
Yeah.
So
Hated
let's
that
go
movie.
ahead. We'll move on to the next thing we're discussing, which is Tom Cruise will play a new Iron Man in the Doctor Strange sequel. Okay, nobody gives a fuck, so we're going to go to the next story, which is X-Men director chooses 3 actors to
Oh,
replace
shit.
Hugh Jackman's Wolverine. Now, this one's interesting. Rumors still fly about Hugh Jackman's possible return as Wolverine. The gossip is directed towards Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. That's no surprise. The Doctor Strange sequel brims with cameo leaks. Undoubtedly, Hugh Jackman is the big fish. However, if Marvel Studios catches him, it'll be temporary because he's 53. You know,
Wow.
because you know if you're 53, you're too old, right, Keith?
Yeah, he's like Marta at this point.
Still looks good
Fuck
though.
you.
You can still do it.
And
I mean,
Keith and I talk about this. They do. They need a younger Wolverine that can be in a few films.
Yeah,
that could
that's what
launch
it's about.
into a bunch of films. But the fact is that it would be nice to have a proper kiss off of Hugh Jackman because we want to see him with Deadpool. We all
wait,
wanna
he'll,
see him with Deadpool.
Yeah.
you mean like he'll pass down his Wolverine status to somebody else?
I mean, I feel this is the only way we'll see him is like
It'll be
first off,
multiverse
we're gonna-
related. You know it's going to be
Yeah.
multiverse related.
We're gonna see everyone in Doctor Strange too, right? Multiverse of Madness. But I think the only other way we could see Hugh Jackman will be in a Deadpool, his buddy Ryan Reynolds. It's the only other way we will see him, and then that'll be it. He's not gonna do another trilogy here.
Although
No,
I
I-
don't
I-
know how Wolverine is not a mantle, so I don't know how he could pass that on to someone.
No,
Like some of the
I
other
don't- No, it
superheroes.
should not be passed on. He should just
Yeah.
simply either go back
Stop
to his
showing up.
universe or just die like he did already in Logan.
They
But
already died, right?
yeah. So here we
I
go.
think
Here's one of the picks. Let's get into this, man. We got
Okay.
Tom
Yeah.
Hardy. Now, this is a problem that I've complained about with ad nauseum with Keith is, look, man, stop dipping into the same fucking pool of actors.
Yeah,
Right.
I don't want
You
this.
know, there comes a point where it's like there's more fucking actors out there.
I agree.
But Tom Hardy, I fucking love Tom Hardy, but it's
Yeah.
like, come on, man.
but no.
Now here, Taron Egerton, interesting. I like him as an actor. He's a good actor.
hold on. Let me
Yeah.
give you my shock face, considering who's the person that's picking all these. It's like, okay,
Hold on, no, let's see it again.
Fuck
Do it
this.
again. Okay, there we go. I'm going to capture that later. It's my, it'll be my personal screen of Keith is judging you.
Judgy Keith.
Yeah, Judgy Keith. Here we got Aaron Taylor Johnson, who's definitely young enough to start a new character.
but
No, I don't see it.
I don't see him as
You know,
Wolverine.
actually, they should have gotten Clint Eastwood's son.
I think
Yeah.
that would give
Scott
Steve-
Eastwood.
Okay.
Kyle
Scott
is
Eastwood.
good.
Scott
Oh, Scott
Eastwood is
Eastwood,
really
yeah.
good because Hugh
But he's
Jackman
crazy.
looks like he's an illegitimate Eastwood child.
Taylor Johnson's Kraven.
And I pronounce that. I pronounce it as Huge Ackman.
Huge.
Aaron Taylor Johnson was originally cast as Kraven. So I'd see him more as a Kraven type. I don't see him as Wolverine. I don't think he's right for the part.
I mean, but damn,
I could see
of
Hardy.
These three, Edgerton, yeah.
I'm just tired of seeing Hardy and everything.
Well, this is all Matthew Vaughn. I mean, my list would my thing would be to see who Kevin Feige thinks. You know,
well, I think Scott Eastwood would be an outstanding pick, and he's the right age. So I'm definitely in agreement with you on that one.
I would get an unknown, a totally unknown who just looks the part, has some acting chops. Just kind of reboot. If you're gonna reboot, you got Hugh Jackman. Like, you can't follow up Logan the way they ended that film. You gotta kind of reboot this fresh. I think.
I know.
It'd be nice, but that's probably why they're not going to do it, because it's Hugh Jackman. So they're probably going for a name to go ahead and draw in that crowd instead of an unknown. Yeah, it's a risk either way. But
as they said in the movie by Steven Spielberg, Catch Me If You Can, I concur, Doctor.
Oh shit.
Tom Cruise.
Yeah, it's like my head is filled with Tom Cruise. Fucking Tom Cruise. By the way, I saw the promo again last night for the new Reacher series on Amazon. Looks good. I actually really am hoping that Bezos left his fucking politics off this and just let them make a good fucking Reacher film, because it looks good. Halo looks good, by the way. My only problem is Cortana, because she looks like wrong. It's like when they recast the voices of the Muppets, it's just wrong. It's like Cortana is cute, and that looked like ugly Courtney Cox.
Oh God!
Like somebody had taken Courtney Cox and squished and then pulled her face, and it looks fucked up. But everything else looks good. I like that they're focusing on the Horde, and it feels like they're building up to the storyline of the game where he befriends that alien warrior and they take on the Horde together.
I need more time, because I've heard a few things about how they're developing.
I've not heard anything.
Let's just say Master Chief is gonna have to work with a couple of people who.
Are we talking
in the game?
Strong women.
Lots of strong women.
That's what I hear. That's what I hear.
A couple of people.
Oh,
check those boxes, Gary. You gotta
no, wow.
I get so tired of the checkbox. Just tell a good fucking story. Stop checking the boxes.
I know, right?
The only box you need to have is tell a good fucking story. Yes. That's it for this week. I want to thank everybody for being here. 24/7 Fusion Media. Arwen Avalon, who is the shit giggity, and
awesome.
Still Abdul, who is just the nicest guy. Keith and I have been watching you since Mikey said that he was going to be working with you, and we're like, oh, this guy's really nice. I like him. I think he'd be afraid to come on our show, is what I told everybody.
I was trying. I really
apologize to my dog.
I really wanted to come on there. Yeah.
It's like, oh my God. Because we knew the reason why Mikey chose you was because you're so damn nice. And it's like, boy, I don't know if he's going to want to hang out with us. And then
we get dirty. Yeah.
You get
look,
and I like 24/7 media, Fusion Media, because that guy drops F-bombs all the time, and I'm like, that's my kind of guy. I want to hang out with this guy.
Oh, okay.
Y'all thought I was like a Will Smith, like DC guy. I get it. Yeah, that's how I was going.
But the links are down in the description for everybody's channels. I want to thank all of you for being here this week, and we'll be back next week to talk about more Mikey Sutton Geekosity scoops. With that, get the fuck out of here. Get off our lawns.
I'll drop F-bombs next week.
Hey guys, thanks for watching Pop Culture Minefield. If you've enjoyed the show, please remember to like and subscribe, and don't forget to hit the bell icon. Remember, you can find us at Pop Culture Minefield on both Facebook and Instagram. Thank you again.